Hey guys, today we're gonna be reacting to his story. Okay, here we go. Make sure to like and subscribe, by the way. Yeah, you better, or else I'll find your house. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna be reacting to his story YouTube Shorts. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Yay! Hold on. Oh, scroll. Okay. Let's go to the first one. Alright.
I was sitting on the kitchen floor eating my mom's.
Great pause. Top aces. Yeah, let's see.
I was sitting on the kitchen floor eating my mom's candy, but when I turned the jar around and read the label, my entire face went pale. No way, I don't want this. My chin started trembling, so I ripped the label into 100 pieces. Then I threw the jar across the kitchen and started crying as loud as I could. My mom walked in with her coffee and froze. I cried out, "Mommy, I ate your favorite candy, the ones you eat every night."
Oh wait, I just realized this is gonna be on the video audio.
Her mug shattered on the tiles, and she screamed, "Wait, what did you eat?" My dad sprinted in and grabbed his head with both hands. "What did he eat? Some pills? I don't know. We don't even have any pills in the house." Mom put 911 on speaker, and they kept asking the same question. "Ma'am, what exactly did he swallow?" Mom snatched the jar off the floor, but the label was gone, and I was crying too hard to answer. So I started announcing my symptoms. "Mommy, Daddy, my tummy feels warm." Dad's face went white. "My legs feel funny." Dad sat down on the floor. Mom yelled into the phone, "Please hurry and get here." 2 officers barged in like it was a hostage situation. "What pills did he eat?" My parents shook their heads since no one knew the answer. But one of the officers looked at the shredded label on the floor and smiled. "I know what to do." She gathered every piece, laid them out on the counter, and started sliding them together like a jigsaw puzzle. My dad just whispered, "Please let my son be all right." Ambulance lights started flashing through the window. That's when the last scrap slid into place, and the officer read it out flat. "Get pregnant within seconds. Guaranteed." The kitchen went dead silent. Mom blinked her eyes. "Wait, those are my fertility pills." Everyone slowly turned to me at once. "That's Mommy's favorite candy, the one she takes every night before playing on the bed with Daddy." I looked down at my belly and asked the very thing that had been making me cry. "When do I give birth?" I was sitting on the kitchen floor eating my mom's candy, but when I turned the jar around and read the label, my entire
I don't know.
face went pale. "No way, I don't want."
Yeah, okay, let's just look at the next one, bro. Yeah.
The engine stalled and flames erupted from under the hood of my car when I pressed the gas pedal down. Every other car in the race sped past me. As the last car passed, the driver turned around and locked eyes with me. He pulled out an engine part from his pocket and threw it on the ground next to me. It was one of the gears from my had been sabotaged. He shot me an evil smile before accelerating out of sight. I picked up the gear. I knew that I couldn't install the part myself, and my pit crew could never get to me in time to make the repair. I unbuckled my seatbelt and got out of my car. I had no plan, just an objective: win the race by any means necessary. I just started running along the back streets next to the race course. This was my 3rd time driving in the Monaco Grand Prix, the richest race on planet Earth. I had won every time before, and I intended for this race to end the same way. I saw a pedestrian vehicle approaching me head-on. I planted my feet and put my hand up. The car screeched to a stop. It was old, rusted, and one of the tires in the rear was flat, but it would have to do. I ran to the driver's window and shouted, "Emergency! I need this car. I'm racing in the Grand Prix and I've been sabotaged." The driver immediately recognized me from my past victories and was almost too eager to let me drive. As soon as my seatbelt clicked, I put the gas pedal to the floor and peeled out to get back in the race. When I returned to the track, the race was already in its final lap, and the cars were nearly at the finish line. The passenger shouted from the back, "This car has nitrous. If we use it, we can win. Hit it." I saw a purple button marked with an N on the dashboard. I pressed it, and we took off so fast I thought my eyeballs might come out of the back of my skull. Every other car became a blur in my rearview mirror, and I was first past the finish line with minutes to spare. In second place was the same driver who sabotaged me. "Hey, you cheated!" he shouted at me. "I just threw down the part he had removed from my engine earlier." "Maybe, but you cheated first. I just got even and beat you anyway." The engine stalled and flames erupted from under the hood of my car when I pressed the gas pedal.
Okay, so what do you think? How do you think that was? Honestly, I mean, like, it was a good little short action story. Okay, well, it was better than the first one. Okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna have the mic muted the whole entire time I'm watching echo because they can hear the mic, but they have to get so loud. So, yeah. But then we'll talk about it. But yeah, okay, let's go to the next one.
Ready to unlock Roblox?
I stepped on stage at the weightlifting competition and lifted 480 pounds over my head like it was nothing, but the judge just grinned and hit his red light. That was a terrible lift. I saw your elbow twitch. My elbow hadn't moved an inch, but that was one of my 3 attempts gone, and my eyes fell on my girlfriend sitting in the front row. She told me that very morning in clear words, "I only date strong men. If you bomb out of this competition, we are done." So I had to complete this lift no matter what. I stepped into position for my second attempt, but the judge marched onto the platform and yanked my belt right off my waist. "This belt is illegal equipment. I'm confiscating it." Someone in the crowd murmured, "Isn't this unfair?" But I saw that my clock was running out, so I stepped up and lifted it raw anyway. "Take that." And it went up even smoother than the first. The crowd roared, but the judge grabbed the mic and announced, "Don't be fooled. It only looked easy because the bar was loaded light, so that lift didn't count either." The arena went dead quiet, and my girlfriend covered her mouth. But then the staff member who had loaded the plates brought a scale on stage and weighed the bar. 480 pounds. My face brightened because I could finally save my relationship. The judge's face was getting redder and redder every second. But instead of turning his light white and giving me a pass, he threw off his blazer and roared, "Fine, I'll demonstrate what a legal lift looks like." I watched in disbelief as he chalked his hands and gripped my bar. His whole body shook. Veins popped out of his neck, but somehow he lifted the bar straight over his head and grinned at me. But suddenly, his arms buckled. The bar dropped straight down toward his face, and the whole arena screamed, "No!" That's when I lunged in and caught it mid-air. I pressed it over my head for my third attempt while he stared up at me from the floor. My girlfriend rushed the stage and jumped into my arms, but then she turned to the judge, still flat on the platform. "Dad, are you okay?" My jaw dropped. He sat up slowly, looked at the two of us, and let out a long breath. "No man was ever gonna be good enough for my little girl, but you just saved my life." Then he took my wrist, raised it to the crowd, and hit his white light. That was a perfect lift. I stepped on stage at the weightlifting competition and lifted 480 pounds over my head like it was nothing, but the judge just... I was driving around. I stepped.
Okay, so how do you think that was? It's a, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, let's just go to the next one, bro. No, we have like barely any time. You're like, damn, son.
I was driving around the safari, taking pictures of the lake the guide said was filled with alligators. I leaned closer to capture one out of the water. Then my son pushed my arm. "Let me see." He knocked me off balance, and I fell out of the truck. I landed in the lake, 15 feet away from the alligator. My heart pounded as I felt the swamp water surround me, and when I looked back, my son was gripping his head. "I'll save you, Dad." He went to jump, but suddenly the tour guide pulled him back. I watched the guide lock eyes with me and slam his foot on the accelerator. The truck drove off away from me, and I gripped my head in horror as my son cried, "No, Dad, please." My legs were shaking, and I couldn't understand why he didn't help me. But then I felt something behind me. The alligator I'd been photographing was getting ready to bite me. He closed his mouth hard, but I jumped back just in time. I scrambled out of the water like my life depended on it, grabbing the nettles around the lake to drag myself up. But the alligator's eyes stayed locked on me, and he followed me out of the water. I zigzagged away from him, but then immediately saw a pack of lions looking at me in the distance. My legs buckled, and I slowly bent down and crouched in the tall grass. Tears fell from my eyes as I kept trying to call my son or the tour guide, but I had no service. The lions walked 20 feet from me, their paws so close I could see each hair. I was convinced I was dead when I heard an engine. The tour guide grabbed my arm and pulled me on the truck before I could react. He floored the accelerator, and I instantly hugged my son. He cried, "You're alive," while I wiped my tears. Then I let go and turned to the guide. I wanted to scream at him for leaving me, but he replied without even turning around, "If you fall in, leaving is our policy. We drive away and radio for help instead. That's because if we stay, your family gets out of the truck to help you. Then the alligator eats you both. It's safer to drive away." I looked at my son and realized if the guide hadn't driven away, we both might be dead. I was driving around the safari, taking pictures of the lake the guide said was...
So what you think about that? I mean, like, yeah, it was good. I mean, like, it wasn't a big story like last time, bro. Okay. What is that? Oh, that's like an arm thing. I made out of cardboard and foam. I'm gonna carry it. Okay. Sure, I guess after this video, we're gonna go to like 50 minutes. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Rather than boxing you in on a set
I grabbed my daughter Victoria's phone bill for the month and counted 39 night calls to an unknown number. I gripped the paper in my hand because my daughter was 15 and all the calls happened when her friends were asleep. I instantly looked up the number and it was registered to an adult male called James Dinetto. After hours of searching, I finally found his address. I raised Victoria to pick up for family, not grown men, so I grabbed my keys because I was going to find out what the hell was going on. After 40 minutes of driving, I parked outside a small brick house and pounded on the door. It slowly creaked open to reveal an elderly man resting on a cane. I shoved the phone bill in his face. "What the hell are you doing with my daughter?" He smiled ear to ear, extending his right arm into his home, welcoming me in. "You must be Victoria's dad. I'm James. Please come in." I followed him to a phone on his side table, and Victoria's name and phone number were taped beside it in big cursive letters. Tears streamed down his face. "Evenings are the hardest since my wife passed. It never rings after 6. Last fall, your daughter's class did a school visit to my senior center." He pointed at the phone number. "She wrote this down and told me to call whenever the quiet got too loud." My legs gave out and I sat down on his couch. "She talks to me while she does her homework," James said. "I helped her study for her history final. I lived through half of those chapters." I gasped because they'd called 39 times and everyone was my daughter keeping an old man company. The next night, Victoria was doing homework at the kitchen table, so I sat across from her and asked why she never told me about James. She shrugged without lifting her pencil. "You always tell me to pick up for family." The phone rang, and this time we both answered. I grabbed my daughter Victoria's phone bill for the month and counted.
Yeah, that's just a wholesome short. That's a wholesome one. For real, bro. But yeah. Okay, let's get to the next one. We have like
4 kids ripped my family's Halloween skeleton in half for a TikTok, so I rebuilt him into a trap. I just stapled the tiny top hat on a 12-foot Home Depot skeleton dressed like Art the Clown when 4 kids spilled out of a Subaru laughing. Before I got to the door, they threw Art to the ground and the main kid started teabagging him while the rest pulled out their phones. One pointed at me. "Bro, look."
bro, teabagging is crazy. Okay, King. No, bro, don't do art, bro. Just teabag on him. No, that's actually weird. Teabagging is. Yeah, you're weird, buddy. Yeah, okay, bro. Teabag. Okay.
Look at his face, he's about to cry. Another ripped the skeleton in half and ran it back to the car, and they drove off before I could catch up. I walked over and pulled what was left of Art upright, fists clenched. I carried the pieces into the garage and laid him on the workbench. My wife surprised me with that skeleton before she passed, and dressing him up was our tradition.
Yo, these kids, I'm about to, bro, you know, I'm about to freaking kill these kids, bro. Like, bro, yeah, I can't wait to see this kid just absolutely. I want this kid to get like poop on his face or something or shit, bro. Like, for real. Yeah, let's go. I thought it might
This year I'd made him Art, her favorite movie character, to honor her. Half the block had called the cops on these kids, and nothing ever came of it. By morning, their clip had 1 million views, and the comments wanted a sequel. They came back for it the next Halloween. I waited out front in a scarecrow costume and asked them to leave my yard alone. The main kid lowered his phone and grinned. "Bro, you dressed up to ask us nicely?" The others were dying. A grown man begging in burlap was their best clip yet. That night, they dragged the skeleton into the street, chanting, "Drag him, drag him, drag him," the whole way. Their clip of me carrying what was left into the garage broke their view record. I shut the garage door and stood there in the dark before I picked up the welder. For the next year, I rebuilt Art from the boots up.
Bro, this is actually legal. Like, what you said, bro. I'm not even kidding. This is so legal. Like, bro, these kids are actually so gay. Like, why are you doing that? I don't even care that.
The spring loaded on. The hand
I
loaded.
would punch them in the face, bro. Not one, bro. His name is John Cena. No, bro. Not for real. Bro, but let's get back to it, bro. These kids are actually so weird. That's so weird, yeah, bro. I can't wait to see the revenge, bro. For real.
Loaded with fake blood that doesn't come off skin for a week. I hammered 3 feet of steel into the lawn and bolted him to it. The night before Halloween, I held the spring in my hand for a long time before I set it. The lawn looked friendlier than ever, Art smiling out at the street with a happy haunting sign on the gate. I sat at the kitchen table and waited. The main kid swaggered across the grass. "3rd year running, baby. Say hi to Art," he yelled as he jumped up to slap the skeleton's face. Art's arm swung down and caught his wrist, and the fake blood in the hand soaked the kid's hoodie and the face of the kid next to him. The main kid hit the grass and sobbed into his sleeve while the others scattered.
laughing, bro. Yeah, that's what they did, bro. That's not gonna come up for a week too.
Art stood bolted to 3 feet of steel, smiling. I walked out and pointed at him. Bro, look at his face. He's actually crying. A neighbor walking by had filmed.
Yo, he's filming, bro. He's filming. Bro, they're actually getting cooked, bro. They're gonna laugh at you like they laugh at deserve. Yeah, sure.
The whole thing, and by morning the clip was on every screen in the neighborhood. Fake blood smeared from his hairline to his collarbone, which was still on his face a week later when I saw him speedwalk past Art. 4 kids ripped my
Well, that's the end of the video, guys. We've been going for like 50 minutes now. But I hope you guys liked. I hope you guys liked it. Like and subscribe. And yeah, bro, this actually was so fun. But if you want a part 2 of this or something else with me and my friend, I think we're at 100 subscribers. And yeah, peace out. Bye. Bye.